Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Ravens fans. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us here on the Ravens Rundown. Coming up on today's show, while the Chiefs and Eagles seasons are ending tonight in the Super Bowl, the Ravens have been in full offseason mode for a few weeks. And with that, we are going to focus on potential trade targets for your Baltimore Ravens. We'll get to all of that and more in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, folks, who do you got tonight? Are you going with the Chiefs? Are you going with the Eagles? I think the Eagles win, but I'm going to be rooting on the Kansas City Chiefs. Would love to see the Super Bowl title stay among the AFC, personally. I'm going with Philly, but rooting for a Chiefs win. Who are you picking tonight? PHI for Philadelphia, KC for Kansas City. Hopefully we get a good game and you guys get to enjoy some good food and great time with your friends and family, and we'll get started with today's show. Trade targets for the Ravens. So here's what we're going to do. I have 5 potential trade targets for Baltimore, and what we will break it down is 5 different positions. 5 players for each point of need of sorts for this Baltimore Ravens team. And so we'll start with the biggest need of all. That is the wide receiver position, and we will begin with Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I'll say this. The wide receiver position and the potential trade targets for that, I could say several different names and have the same solution here. I just like Chris Godwin the best at that wide receiver spot of potential trade targets to that position right now. Remember, you still have DeAndre Hopkins potentially available, DJ Moore's out there, heck, even Mike Evans on Chris Godwin's own team. The resume for Chris Godwin, 2019 Pro Bowler, he won a Super Bowl. His contract has about 2 years left and $40 million remaining at this point in time. And he has been very good the last few seasons, and he's just now really in the prime of his career. The difference between him and, let's say, his teammate Mike Evans is that Godwin is a few years younger. So that's what I like about Chris Godwin is that you're going to get 2 years. It's not a rental thing. And the fact that he's right in the prime of his career right now, that would be a huge asset to Lamar Jackson in this passing game if they can add Chris Godwin to the fold. So what about Chris Godwin? You want to see Chris Godwin in a Ravens uniform in 2023? If you do, type T for trade. If not, that's okay too. Type P for pass. Let me know what you're feeling. T for trade, P for pass if you want to see Chris Godwin in Baltimore. Let's go to the edge rusher position, and that's where we find Josh Allen. No, not that Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I think, is a very good football player and has stood out to me in his time with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you look at what he's done, a Pro Bowl in 2019 as a rookie, and the Jags have been a mess, but Josh Allen has been good almost his entire time with this team. And coming into this next year, there's 1 year left, about $10.89 million. And so with Josh Allen, that's the only thing that I'm hesitant on. It's not a talent issue, and we know that he could play in this Ravens defense. Oh, that's true. But the whole rental aspect of sorts, that you get him on the 1 year and then you have to give him a big pay bump potentially after that. To me, that's the one concern as far as that goes with Josh Allen. But we saw last year when it came to pass rushers, it was a revolving door with some older guys. If you can get a guy that's entering his prime and take care of that youth movement of sorts, that'd go a long way as far as I'm concerned. We will have more potential trade targets for you in just one moment. Before we do, Ravens Rundown is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 every morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. I came into this year wanting to get healthier, and starting my year on AG1 has helped me do just that. I take it every morning, and I feel the best I have ever felt. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally going to be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free one-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Tell them that Tyler Jones and Chat Sports sent you. You'll be glad you did. athleticgreens.com/chatsports. All right, next up on the list, that is where we find probably the biggest name of these potential trade targets, and that is Jalen Ramsey, the cornerback for the LA Rams. And Jalen Ramsey, one of the best cornerbacks still in the entire National Football League, was a huge part of the Rams Super Bowl just a year ago. And you look at the Rams where they're at, they have so many questions with their future, with how much longer Aaron Donald's going to play, how much longer Sean McVay is going to coach, if Matt Stafford can be healthy. And so now there's rumblings that they could potentially move on from Jalen Ramsey while they can get something out of him, while they can try to get some draft capital of some sorts for a Rams team that doesn't have hardly any draft capital at all. Remember, their GM not too long ago said F them picks. Jalen Ramsey would be a huge improvement for this Baltimore Ravens team. You pair him up with Marlon Humphrey, watch out. In 3 years on the contract, yes, it's a lot of money that he's still owed. The number that we showed you there just a moment ago, $47 million in those 3 years. But you're getting one of the best cornerbacks in football and an elite football player. You pair him up with Marlon Humphrey, watch out. It would be guns a-blazing with that defense. You put Jalen Ramsey back there into your mix. Of these top two defensive players that we've talked about for positions of need, which one would you rather have? If you can only trade for one, because I doubt you're going to have the trade assets available to trade for both players, who would you choose in this scenario? Would you go with Josh Allen or would you go with Jalen Ramsey? Let us know in the comment section. Type JA for Josh Allen. Type JR for Jalen Ramsey. Which way you feeling? What player would you rather trade for? Josh Allen or Jalen Ramsey? Let me know in the comment section below. We are covering this team each and every day here on the channel. We are counting down the days towards the NFL draft, free agency, trades. It's about to go from 0 to 100 real quick, folks. It is going to be very wild here on the channel, and we got you covered. We're doing live shows now here on the Ravens Rundown, and so if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? It doesn't cost you a thing. Might as well subscribe and get the latest happenings with your favorite team. We're doing it for you because we love the Baltimore Ravens just like you. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Couple more names for you, and we turn to outside linebacker Calavion Chaisson, formerly of LSU, the second Jags player that's on our list today. And Chaisson, I'll admit, has been inconsistent at times in his tenure with the Jags to this point. But if you look at it, here's somebody that we know is talented. A first-round pick back in 2020 out of LSU, played 40 games in the last 3 seasons, and I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. I think if you put him potentially around Roquan Smith and, put him with a good defensive coordinator like Mike McDonald, we could start to see him take another step. There are questions about his health that have lingered over the last couple of years, but you look at the contract, it's not terrible. 2 years, just over $14 million that he would be owed for the remainder of that. I got to tell you, I think this is one of those deals where you probably don't have to give up a whole lot for Calavion Chaisson. This might be a bargain buy of some sorts. This might be the type of deal that you're finding at Wawa of sorts, the type of bargain shopping here you could get with Calavion Chaisson. So for me, a bargain buy, I would be very interested in this move to add depth to this defense there if you can bring on Chaisson. One more player, and that is Dalvin Cook at the running back position. Now, we told you in our cut candidates video a couple days ago that there is a decent chance that the Ravens could cut Gus Edwards. And so with that, the running back position is one of need potentially for the Ravens. Personally, I prefer the idea of drafting a running back, but the best running back probably available of trade candidates out there is Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings. 4-time Pro Bowler, 2017 second-round pick out of Florida State. But that contract is hefty. 3 years, $35.2 million. But we saw this Ravens team. How many running backs did they use this past year? There would certainly be a spot for Dalvin Cook, no doubt about it, pairing up with J.K. Dobbins. And a lot of Minnesota Viking fans aren't happy with Dalvin Cook. They think that he's lost a step of sorts. Well, he's coming off a season where he still had 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he's still got something left in the tank, whether Minnesota Viking fans want to believe it or not. So I think it'd be a reach to try to get Dalvin Cook personally, but I wouldn't completely rule it out necessarily as far as that goes. So tell me this. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for. We gave you 5 names, and I want to go back over those 5 names here before we go. But before we do, tell me this real quick. Name a player you'd like to see the Ravens trade for, whether it's somebody we talked about or somebody we didn't talk about, let me know. So to recap, at wide receiver, it's Chris Godwin. At edge rusher, it's Josh Allen. Cornerback, it's Jalen Ramsey. Calavion Chase at outside linebacker. Dalvin Cook at running back. You get any of these guys, I think you're feeling pretty good about yourself in that how much better you got as a team. What you don't want to fall into the trap of, though, is giving up too much, and even though you're bringing in a talented player, take too much of a step back because of what you gave up. So something to keep in mind there. As always, you can interact with me on social media. I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl tonight on my social media platforms. Hopefully we get a good game, and I'll see you next time here on the Ravens Rundown.